to implement Steam's Open ID API into your website so you can allow users to log into your website using their Steam account. Now your site doesn't handle the username and passwords. That's the whole point of using like Steam's API for that. So people have a bit of trouble with implementing this in, but it's actually quite easy. So I thought I'd just make a quick video about it because I know a lot of people want to see this sort of thing. So yeah, we might as well go ahead and start. So what I've got here is just a basic little design. Now I'm not going to show you HTML or anything on how to make this site because that's not the point of this video, but the whole point is you should have a site sort of like this that you want to implement into. And you see we've got the basic navigation bar, and you'd have your login over here somewhere, or anywhere on your site for that matter. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, what we want to do is when we click that, I have it set up to a modal, so this will pop up. And what we're going to do is put a little button somewhere down here, which will be the Steam login button, and which will take us over to Steam. So we need to put that there, and that will take us in. And then once we're in, what we want to do is where it says login, if we are logged in, we want to replace that and make it display the logged in Steam account's avatar and username. And we also will make it have a little drop down tab so we can log out and check a few other options. And so that's what we're basically going to be doing. So what you want to do first of all is head over to this GitHub link and download this project files here. Basically we don't need the other stuff, all we really want is the Steamor folder because that's what we need for this. So I'll leave this link for this in the description. And once you've downloaded that, what you want to do is open it up, and we're just literally going to copy that Steamor folder and we want to put it into our project folder, or your project folder in this case. So these other files you can completely ignore because they're just to make the website look how, or my website look how it does. You will not need those files. So now we can just shut that. And I've saved the index file as a PHP file because we're going to be putting some PHP within this file. Although there's no PHP in there yet, it still works within it. But yeah, you want to save it as PHP. So now we've got our Steamor folder put in here. We want to go in there and we quickly need to change a few things. So first of all, we just want to go in the Steam config file, right click and edit that. So you see here there's a few things that we need to change, and it's these 4 settings here. So the API key is unique to you, so you need to go over to this link here, and once you go over to that you'll input your domain and make sure you get it right. It doesn't have to be I've got it in, see, a YouTube directory, but you just need the main domain like so, and you'll input that and then Steam will generate you an API key, and I have mine right here. So once you've got that API key, you literally just want to paste it in there within the speech marks, and that's that one done. Now for the domain name, you just need to copy your domain name from the main part, not the directory, if you have it in a directory, but you shouldn't have, and you just want to paste that in there. And if you didn't paste it, you need the HTTP because for some reason if you don't, it doesn't want to work. So you want it with the HTTP if you didn't put that. So, and you want another / at the end of the link also. So once you've got that, we need the logout page and the login page. Now this is completely up to you because when a user logs in, you might want to take them to like a welcome page or an information page, and you'd put that here, but for the purpose of this I'm just going to do index.php and take us to our main page, and for the logout I'm just going to do the same thing. But this is where you would put custom pages if you wanted to do that. So now we've set up that, we can just save that file and close it off because we no longer need it. And now what we want to do is just go into our index page and start doing some things. So first of all, we want to go above the HTML code and start some PHP coding off in here. And what we want to do is we just want to require and include a file within this one so we can use it. And we'll just require, we can use the Steamor folder / and we want to use the Steamor.php file out of that folder. And you'll go in here and you'll see we just want to use this file because it just contains a bunch of stuff. If I open it up, specifically we want the login button function so we can echo the button onto our website and start the login. So we want to require that, and then what we want to do is check if we have set the Steam ID, so we can basically check if the user's logged in pretty much. So once we do log in, like sort of in the session, something we set called the Steam ID, and we can use that to check if the user has logged in or not. And that's important because let's say you have pages like that you don't want people to access if they're not logged in. That is what we do. So we can use if it's set is set, and we want session, all in caps, and then what we want to check for is the Steam ID, like that. And then if that is set, then they're logged in. Else, if not, they're not logged in. So we don't really want to do anything, but if you wanted to, you could direct them to a different page or start like whatever you got the options for yourself. So I'm just going to comment it out and just say not logged in, because we don't really need to do much. But if they are logged in, you can just create something called an ID and make that equal to the session Steam ID. And that is not really part of the login process, but you will need it because the IDs are very important for Steam website, because if they log in, you want to use their ID to identify the person, and you could use this ID now to check a database for their details and stuff like that. So that is pretty important to have. So I thought I'd chuck that in. So that's just checking if they're logged in. This wasn't really necessary for the login part, but it's necessary for your website after you've done that. So now what we want to do is go ahead and actually do the login process. So there's one thing I did forget. If they are logged in, we want to include or require. We could just require it here, but actually we'll just go ahead and do it. We'll require it here. We want to require one more file, and it's in the Steam folder again, and this time it is user I info.php, and that will enable you to grab things about the user, so things like their name, their avatar. So you could require this if they're logged in, but I'll just leave it there for now. So what we want to do is go down, and this is where I have the login side of things. You'll see in my notepad I copied the other part of the website, which will be the drop down tab if they are logged in, so we're going to be using that. We only want to display this login if if their session isn't set. So hopefully you can understand that. So we go down here and we can put some PHP code in and just say if is set, basically the same code, session, and then Steam ID. We will have the open bracket here. If it's set, what we want to do is the code in my notepad. If we just want here, close the bracket, else open the bracket, and then that's where we'll display the login, because obviously they're not logged in, and we just want to close the bracket off like that. And you'll see if I click that, it's highlighted that one. If I click that, it's highlighted that one. So although the code isn't in one set of PHP tags, it still will work throughout. So I'll quickly grab this code here and paste that if the user is logged in. And let me just clean that up a little bit, like so. And you'll see I've got the option. You'll see I've got the image source or image class, and this is where I want to put the URL of the logged in Steam image. Instead of putting like a link here like you usually would do, like HTTP, or you'll just have like image.png there. What we're going to use is a bit of PHP code, so we'll just put the PHP tags, and then we can use Steam profile. This is coming from one of the requirements that we included, so we'll use Steam profile, and then what we just type here is avatar, and that will get our avatar. Now there is a whole page of Steam documentation, and you can have like different size avatars and things like that. I'll also leave a link for that in the description if you want to check that out as well. But right here we just want the Steam profile and then the avatar. And you'll see here I've left the Steam name, and this is where we do that. So for that, well, again we can use Steam profile, and then this time we'll just use persona name, and I didn't actually put that within PHP text, so let's quickly go and do that, and there we are. So that should be setting us an image up and the name if we are logged in. So now we've done that, we actually need to just go ahead and put the login here in my modal. If you're not using that, and like I said, this is this pop-up, you'll just put what I'm about to do here right where this says login up there, so it's not a big deal. You'd put it on this one here, this line here. So I just want to go down here, and all I want to do is use some PHP code, and I want to echo this function here, which is the login button. So echo login button, like so, and that should display that for me. And then there's one more thing I need to do, is go ahead and if we want to log out. Now this has a function called the logout button, but I don't want to use the logout button. This is using you see it's got a form here. I don't really want to use that. All I want to do is just unset the session ID. So we can quickly go and press file new, and I just want to quickly create a short file. It's really not long at all. So we'll go in here. All we want to do is start the session underscore start, and then all we want to do is press unset session Steam ID. We just want to unset that, and we also want to unset the session, and it is Steam underscore up to date, like so. And then after we've unset that, we can just write header, and we can write in here location, and we want to send them back to the index.php after we've unset that. So now they'll be logged out. That's essentially what that file's doing. So we can save that, put it in steammorph, and we'll call that logout, and we want to save that as a PHP file. And now in our index file, we just want to where I've got this here, we just want to locate to the steammorph folder /logout.php, sorry, and that should take care of that for us. So that should be it. I'm going to go ahead and quickly upload the files to the server and show you that. So you'd want to come into your, if you're using like a VPS or something, you just want to go into the files and upload it. So you see here, I've got the files here. Ignore the login, that's for a previous tutorial. I want to go ahead and upload. First of all, I'll upload my new index file, because that will change a few things, and I'll show you. It might cause errors, yeah it did, because we don't have the steammorph folder. So we quickly want to go back, new directory, go in here, steammorph, upload that. Quickly go in here and upload the couple of files we got. So we got logout, open ID, steammorph, steam config, and user info. So we upload that. Now if we refresh the page, you should see the site's gone back to normal. I can click login, and you see now from at the start of the video I didn't have this. Now this is you can change this image here to an image of your choice. You can see the guy, because we used someone else's little files here for the login side of things. This is using, you can see here he's got the image here, so this is where you'll just change it to whatever you like. So it's fairly simple, and you can also change the rectangle and the squares. Again, that is also within the documentation that I'll leave. So once we've done that, I've not got any code for that tick, but yeah, you'll press the button. It will take you over to Steam. Apparently my URL has been blocked, but I'm not sure why. You want to just press continue anyway. And you see I'm logged in on a bot account, so I'll sign in. And once that signed me in, you'll see we do have a little error here, but it's meant to display my image there. And I think that is because if we go to the index, if I just leave a little equals there and a little equals there, we should be good. So if I quickly go ahead and re-upload the index, I'm not sure if that's just a problem for me. It might be, it might not be, but if you have the same problem, just go ahead and do that. If I refresh the page, you'll see now I've got my name and my image, and I can drop down and you see I've got the options, which you could have here, like your profile or your settings and stuff like that. And then I've got the logout button, which you'll see down the bottom left. It's relocating me to the logout. I can press it, and what has happened there? Oh, it's redirected me to the Steamorph index. So for the logout page, what I needed to do is, if you do a like a dot and then a /, that will take you back a directory, because the logout file was within the Steamorph folder. It's looking for index.php in the Steamorph folder, which isn't there. So if this doesn't work, we can easily fix that, but it's not a big problem. So I'll just quickly re-upload the logout file, and that should hopefully solve our problem. So we'll log in like so. So there we are, we logged in. Now we're logged in, remember we have the ID in the background which you can now use, and we can log out, and you see there we are, we're at the main page, we're logged out, we can log in again. So that's it for the implementing the Steam login. It's fairly simple. The thing people might get confused with is I already had my code, but you should have your code anyway, some sort of website layout that you'll want to implement this into. All you really need to do is put a basic if check and check if the session is set around like your drop down tab or whatever, and then that's pretty much it. You just need to include these two files and then edit your config. So it's fairly simple to do. I hope you could understand the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you next time.